Wednesday, y'all. We are having Watcha Cookin Wednesday for the first time in at least a month, probably. I don't think we did any Watcha Cookin Wednesdays in the month of July because of Christmas in July. So it's been over a month since we have done this, and I'm glad to be back. Y'all, I really haven't cooked much in quite some time, especially with being out of town. And so I'm glad to get back into the kitchen and get some cooking done. So we're actually not cooking today, though. We are mostly just preparing. And we're going to make a no-bake Oreo dessert today. I am taking dinner tonight to Griffin's football coach and his wife and their kids. They just had their third baby, and so I'm going to take dinner to them tonight. And so this is the dessert that I'm going to take to them. So it's a simple dessert. I've never made this before, so I'm using a recipe. This is not my recipe. This recipe is from Fantabulosity is the name of the website, Fantabulosity. And it's just Oreos and butter and chocolate pudding mix, Cool Whip, cream cheese, powdered sugar, easy dessert, but of course it sounds delicious. So I hope it will be delicious. So when you hop on, say hey, let me know you're watching. I hope everyone's having a great day. It's a rainy day here. Literally, I was downstairs, I heard thunder, and then I heard the water start rolling in my basement. So I never even heard it rain, but it must have been raining hard. And so it rained really hard for a short period of time, enough for water to come into my basement, which it seems to be happening more and more lately. Hi, Carol. Hey, Lynn. I'm glad to see you. Hi, Pam. Hey, Christy. Your favorite cookies and Oreo. Hey, Donna. Hello, Dana. Oh, good. I'm glad, Dana. Hi, Teresa. Dana, I don't typically make those, but I have had them, and they are good. Although, I don't exactly love those types of desserts. They're usually too sweet for me. But I have had the Oreo truffles, and they are good. Please pray for my uncle. He's having minor surgery. He isn't doing well. It breaks my heart. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope he gets better soon. Hey, Rhonda. Hi, Debbie. I'm glad to see everyone today. When you hop on, make sure you say hi again. Don't forget to sprinkle and celebrate the video. It would mean so much to me. Thank you all for being here. Okay, so here's the recipe. So you need a family pack size of Oreos. You need a half a cup of butter, so 1 stick of melted butter, 2 of the 3.9 ounce packages of chocolate Jello pudding mix. You're gonna need milk, 3 1/4 cups of milk, 2 8-ounce packages of Cool Whip, and then 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese softened, and then 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. So that's the recipe, okay? Hi, Cheryl. Have a great lunch, Cheryl. Hi, April. Thanks for sprinkling, everybody. Okay, so the first thing the recipe says to do is to do, it actually calls for double stuffed Oreos. I went with the regular Oreos. I didn't go for the double stuffed. And it says to use 2 rows of Oreos. You know what? I'm just gonna cut this and open it up this way. I think it'll be easier that way. Hey, Ethel. Let's see. Did somebody die? Because Teresa says, oh, okay, never mind. Sorry. I'm following now. check out Allie's cookery. Happy birthday, Allie. Thanks for celebrating, Teresa. Okay, so we're gonna do 2 rows of Oreos. Actually, all of these Oreos have to be crushed, but 2 of the rows are for the bottom layer of this dessert. So it has, the recipe calls for crushing the 2 rows first and then doing the 2nd row or the 3rd row last. That sounds good. All right, so then it just says to crush these into small pieces. It doesn't say fine, it just says into small pieces. So you still want some pieces that are a little bit bigger. It's not like you're going for like a graham cracker type crust here. You're just looking to break it up a bit. Hi, Kathy. So who likes Oreos? I think they are literally our America's favorite cookie. It does say it on the package, I think, and I think it's probably true. I do like Oreos a lot, and I like Oreo desserts and, you know, Oreo ice cream and all the things. I like the sugar-free Oreos also, if you've ever had those. I like those too. But I will be honest, I don't buy Oreos very often now. We do like the sugar-free ones. We buy those more than anything. All right, I feel like this is pretty good. Okay. So that's where we're at. So we're gonna take our pan. I'm gonna use a foil pan here. It does call for a 9 by 13. And I'm gonna dump this into my pan. And then we're gonna pour the butter over top of all of these Oreos. And I'm just gonna use a spatula and we're gonna mix the butter in with the Oreos. And then we're just gonna kind of mash them into the bottom. Let's get all of the Oreos coated in the butter. Hey, Michelle. So you can see it's not like super fine pieces. You see some big pieces, you can go in and kind of break those up a little bit more, but they are just kind of small pieces. Chunks, small chunks. Okay, I think it's all mixed. All right, so then we're just gonna press this into the bottom of the pan, into a flat layer. Okay. And then we're gonna put this in the fridge and let this set up a little bit while we, or like harden, while we work on our next layer. Okay. So that's the bottom layer of this dessert. I'm gonna pop this in the fridge. Okay, and then the last row of cookies, we're gonna crush those up as well, and those are gonna be for the topping of the dessert. So Oreos on the bottom and Oreos on the top. Is that right, Nancy? I believe it. I do believe it. But they also say that about ice cream sandwiches, which I can't stand. I hate ice cream sandwiches. I do not like an ice cream sandwich at all. Okay, so there we go. We've got our Oreos crushed for the top. Okay, so set those aside. And now we're going to work on our filling. We're going to move on to the filling. So it says to make the chocolate pudding mixture next. And it says to do it in the stand mixer. I'm not going to do it in a stand mixer. I'm just going to do it with a whisk. So let me grab a bowl. Or you could also do it with a hand mixer as well. But I've always made pudding with just a whisk. So that's how I'm going to do it today. What about y'all? How do y'all make your pudding? Teresa, I think they're disgusting. I'm not a huge fan of vanilla ice cream, so that's part of it. And then I don't like that cookie and that vanilla ice cream. I don't like it at all. Let me grab some milk. I'm going to use whole milk because that's what I always use. And it's 3 3/4 cups of milk. So almost 4 cups of milk. And it says, pour the milk into a large bowl and add the pudding powder. Mix pudding on low speed until the powder is incorporated. Then turn the mixer on high speed and mix until it gets thick. I like sherbet. Yes, I like sherbet as well. All right, so 2 packages of chocolate pudding mix. Smells delightful. I agree, homemade is way better. But I would never just sit and eat vanilla ice cream. Even a lot of the times if I get pie or like apple pie or something like that, I'll ask them to leave the ice cream off. I'm just not a vanilla ice cream fan. All right, so we'll mix the pudding and get it smooth and thick. Trying to get all the pudding off of the sides. I did, Kathy. I cut it the week before we went to Cancun. I got it cut almost 2 weeks ago. I only cut my hair about once a year, so I usually cut quite a bit off when I get it cut. Yes, you can absolutely do this with vanilla. I don't see why not. You could do this with the cheesecake flavor as well. Now, I don't like chocolate ice cream either, Kathy. That's true. But here's the thing. I don't like vanilla ice cream, but I like butter pecan. Okay, let me say this. I'm picky about ice cream. I like caramel ice cream, or like, you know, caramel praline and that type of thing. But I never ever get or eat any ice cream that's chocolate based, ever. Even though I love ice cream, I love chocolate, I don't love chocolate ice cream. I like my pie warm, definitely. I mean, depending on the pie. I like, you know, butter pecan pie warm, pumpkin pie. I really like it cold. And apple pie, though, definitely warm. Blueberry warm, you know, that type of thing. All right. This is starting to get pretty thick. So I think I'm going to put it in the fridge and let this set up a little bit more. And we're going to move on to the next step. So multiple layers here. So I'm going to put this in the fridge, let this set up as well while we're working on the next layer. All right. So now we're going to move on to the cream cheese layer, which is my favorite because I love cream cheese. All right, so here I am going to use a stand mixer, okay? And we're going to add in, let's see, hang on. All right, so we're going to put our cream cheese in here. I'm just reading the directions, making sure that I'm doing this right. Somebody said, what time's dessert? We're on our way over. All right, so we're just going to get the cream cheese lightened up a little bit, get it mixed up, get any clumps smoothed out. And we're going to be adding to it the powdered sugar, and we're going to need 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. All right, I'm going to scrape down the sides and then mix this again just to make sure we don't have any clumps in here. So we've got a nice smooth layer. Hey, Carol. Okay. All right, let's add in our powdered sugar. I'm going to do it 1/4 of a cup at a time. Mix that in slowly. All right, I'm going to scrape down the sides. I have heard of that. But what my version of that was something different, I think. But I don't know for sure. Somebody said that their aunt calls this better than, you know what, cake. Okay, let's do another 1/4 of a cup of powdered sugar. right, I'm gonna scrape down the sides again, and then we'll add in our last 1/4 cup of powdered sugar. I love what powdered sugar does to cream cheese. They're a match made in heaven. Okay. Last 1/4 cup. Quick beating. Okay. So I'm gonna take this out and finish mixing this by hand. Make sure everything is incorporated. And then we're gonna add in our Cool Whip to this. 1 8-ounce package of Cool Whip to lighten this up. Okay. So let's just add a little bit and start folding this in. Ethel, I hope it will be. So we're just gonna fold this so that it doesn't, so it keeps its lightness. Go ahead and add the rest. All right, and let's get this folded really well. Patty, he starts back next Thursday. Next Thursday is the day. We are getting very close to school time. Okay. So basically you mix until you don't see any more streaks of the cream cheese mixture. I still see a few. Making sure I'm getting all the way down into the bottom. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so we've got all of our layers ready. That sounds delicious, Lori. Anytime you put cream cheese and whipped cream together with powdered sugar, I mean, you can't go wrong, right? You just can't. It's a wonderful combination. Okay, let me get some stuff out of the way and we're gonna put this together. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my pudding and my Oreo base out of the fridge. see here. I'm going to use my offset spatula. So we're going to do the Oreo crust, and then we're going to do the cream cheese and Cool Whip mixture on top of the Oreo crust. So we're just going to pop this on. This right here is the good stuff. Okay, let's start spreading this out. Get this smoothed out all over that crust of the Oreos. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna save this for licking. Okay, and then we add the chocolate pudding on here. So let's dump out the pudding. Right on top. All of that chocolate pudding out. Okay, and then spread out the pudding mixture. As Ina Garten would say, how bad could that be? I like Ina Garten. She's my favorite. Okay. Just gonna make sure this is nice and smooth and pretty. Okay. Then we do another layer, and the next layer is just Cool Whip. Okay. So we're gonna take another package of Cool Whip. Nope, I'm not gonna use that. And I'm just gonna do dollops so that maybe it'll be a little easier to spread out and not get the chocolate mixed in. Okay, let's spread out the Cool Whip on top. I feel like I want to not go all the way to the edge because I am taking this to somebody, so I want them to see that there's chocolate underneath. And so if I just kind of do just the middle and I leave the edges. All right, and let's just kind of smooth that out like that. Okay, so just like that. Then we're gonna do the Oreos on top. It's not something new, Teresa. It's just how Facebook recognizes you for how long you've been following and how often you watch and different things like that. So now we're just going to take the crumbs that we made, and this is an entire section of Oreos from the family size pack that we're going to sprinkle on the top here. Yes, Nancy. I'm actually taking it to Griffin's football coach. He and his wife just had a baby last week, and so we're taking it to them. All right. I'm just gonna get the rest of this out. Trying to make it look halfway decent. Lots of Oreos. Okay. There we go. So that is it, y'all. And so then you can just, it's ready to go. You can eat it now. You can let it set for however long you want to. And those cookies are going to soften, which is what makes yummy, especially if you like the cookie soft. I like the cookie soft. Yes, Donna, that's delicious too. There's so many ways you can make this and so many different versions and varieties. You could use Nutter Butters instead of Oreos. That would be delicious. You could use chocolate chip cookies. You could use vanilla Oreos. And you can swap the chocolate pudding for cheesecake pudding or vanilla pudding. You can just do so many different swaps and variations of this. And it's going to be delicious any way you do it, right? Anyway, so it's on the bottom, it's 2 rows of Oreos crushed up into small pieces and 1 stick of butter mixed together and then flattened on the bottom. And then the next layer is a block of softened cream cheese and 3/4 of a cup of powdered sugar mixed together until smooth, and then an entire 8-ounce package of Cool Whip folded in with that. That's the second layer. The third layer is 2 packages of pudding, chocolate pudding, and 3 3/4 of a cup of milk. Mixed that together, let that set up a minute, and then that goes on as your second layer. The third layer is just a plain package of Cool Whip right on the top. And then last is another little strip of Oreos crushed up and added to the top. So there you go. So this recipe is not my recipe. It came from a website called Fantabulosity. Fantabulosity. I will share the link as well. I was thinking that too, Nancy, that some cherries, like cherry pie filling, would be delicious in this as well. I thought about that too, Nancy. And it says here, pro tip, to loosen the cookie crust off the bottom of the pan, you can run a towel under hot water, wring it out, and then place the dishcloth underneath the pan and leave it for a minute, and it'll loosen it up, apparently. So anyways, y'all, there we go. Hopefully who we're taking it to will really enjoy this. All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all soon tomorrow. Bye, everybody.